We got Honda's CRF 250F, the 2023 model, Honda's biggest bike in their range of trail bikes. We're gonna take it out on the trail and let you know how it performs out there. So if you're familiar with Honda's trail range, they have everything from the little CRF 50F through the 110s, the 125s, and then it used to be the 230F. Which now last year became the 250. Great bikes, right? If you're into trail riding, if you're not necessarily looking to go to the track or do some hardcore off-road riding, if you're new to the sport, the trail range, the F range, a great starting point. So the CRF 250F, 5-gear transmission, 250cc air-cooled, and the big benefit of the Honda range is that they're fuel injected, right? If you're familiar with Kawasaki's KLX range or the TTR Yamahas, they're carbureted, and sometimes that can give you a little bit of a hard time, especially when the bikes have been sitting for a while. If you're looking for a fresh set of FXR gear or a new 6D FXR helmet, check the discount code below, fxrmoto.com, 30% off. 34.8-inch seat height, and that is a big benefit if you're looking for a trail bike, if you're a shorter rider, if you're a female rider, or just in general a new rider to the sport that likes that comfort of being able to reach the ground easily. It's about 3 inches lower than the 250X or the 250R, so in that case it just gives you a little bit more confidence when you're out on some of these trails, when you get stuck in some sand or some ruts. Just makes everything a little bit easier. One thing that you will definitely realize, especially the second that you load this bike up, is the weight, right? At 265 pounds fueled up, it's definitely a heavy bike, especially for a smaller frame. So that is something that you have to take into consideration, right? It's a lot heavier than the KLX, a lot heavier than the TTRs. So you kind of make that trade-off, right? You have a little bit, bigger frame, bigger seat height, but then on the other end, that comes with a little bit of extra weight. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping around for some of these trail bikes. On the plus side, when you look at the chassis, when you ride the bike, you don't really feel the weight that much, right? On paper, 265 pounds for 250, that's a lot. When you're riding it, the bike doesn't feel that heavy. It's quite agile, it's quite nimble, easy to ride. Suspension, obviously, on the plus side, it's a trail bike. It's not meant to be ridden super hard. It's not really meant to hit big jumps. So if you just keep it on a normal trail, you have some bumps, you have some rocks, it handles that stuff really well. Obviously, like I said, it's just a little bit too soft once you start to try jump some bigger stuff. On the power side, with the fuel injection, the throttle response is really nice and clean, right? The bike is there when you want it. A very, very smooth power curve, right? This bike doesn't have a lot of torque. It just kind of lugs along. And you can see in some of these clips, some of these hill climbs, the bike sounds like it's in really low RPMs, and riding it, you're almost kind of worried that you have to shift down or that you're not going to make it. But the bike, like a tractor, just keeps plugging along. So very easy to ride. It's a big plus if you're new to trail riding, or if you have some experience and you just want a bike that you can use to just focus on your form. It's not going to give you any hard time. It's not going to put you in trouble with having too much power off the bottom, especially if you're used to riding some bigger bikes. If you jump straight onto a 250X, 250R, those bikes have a lot more power, and it's a lot easier for that bike to get away from you compared to the trail bikes. So overall, the 250F, a great option if you're looking for a fun little trail bike. Obviously, with the suspension components not being as sophisticated as the X or the R, price a little bit lower, right? You can get this bike, depending on where you live, between $5,000 and $6,000. So the price tag's very interesting. And then overall, just the riding performance, right? A very fun bike to ride. It's easy to handle. Like I said earlier, the power is not going to get you in trouble right away. So it really allows you to focus on your riding technique, focus on becoming a better rider before you move up to some of these bigger bikes. As always, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for another video.